Welcome to the Financial Planners Southeast Asia podcast, a show dedicated to driving the positive evolution of financial advice, specifically within Southeast Asia. To join a global community of financial advisors sharing and learning with one another to drive the positive evolution of financial advice, head to xyadvisor.com. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Financial Advisor Southeast Asian podcast. Gwen here, and today we have an award-winning financial advisor, a mentor for other financial planners, and the executive director at Blueprint Planning in Malaysia. Please help me welcome VP Thanga. Hello, Thanga, and thank you so much for coming into the show.
Hi, Gwen. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to have you on. I mentioned earlier before we started the podcast that you were introduced to me by one of a financial advisor whom I really looked up to, and he said that you're one of the best people to talk to when it comes to giving out quality advice for financial planners. So I just wanted to rewind a little bit and get to know more about you so that our listeners can also learn where you're from. So I'd like to know, how long have you been in the industry?
I'm in the finance industry for the past 29 years. I started as tied life insurance agent, started as a part-timer 29 years ago. Into financial planning advisory is past 14 years, since 2007. So actually I started as a part-timer, meaning that I was a teacher.
Yes.
So I was teaching, and then I started to, because my passion is in finance and I love figures. So I venture into life insurance because at that time we do not know much about investments advisory or even financial planning for that matter. We never heard of the word of financial planning.
Yes,
So when we look out, the nearest or very obvious thing is the life insurance industry. So I get involved, and then I actually started as a full-time in 1997. 1997. Then I started to do my studies, Chartered Financial Planner, planning studies, which is a local version. So then I never look back. That's the beginning.
Oh, you've been in the industry for a very long time, and I'm sure that you've garnered a lot of knowledge, and you've also seen how the industry has changed throughout the years. So what do you think was the atmosphere of the financial advice industry when you first started, and compare it to now, to what's happening now?
To be frank with you, in terms of changes, yes, people heard about financial planning, people heard about financial advisory. But then, of course, like any other industry, there's been some misleading version of it where a tied agent or even a normal unit trust marketing person also call themselves as financial advisor and financial planner. So when we do actual advisory, there could be some challenges, but then people are now more aware of there is a service called advisory. And of course, with like myself and with my partners, and other industry people, we really worked very hard to bring this to the public. Look here, this is advisory. It's more of an advice, not just selling products. So, but compared to 29 years ago, of course, the awareness is there, but I feel that it can be improved. Can be improved.
Yes, definitely. And it's an ever-changing landscape as well, because I do understand what you mean. Here in the Philippines as well, a financial advisor here is more likely the one who sells insurance. And then we're still in that process of being in the next step. So there's not a lot of actual financial planners available yet. So there's a bunch of certifications as well, same as in Malaysia. I think if I remember correctly, it's 2 years, 2.5 years to go into your studies. So, and I'm really glad that you brought that up because I think, yes, it's very important to distinguish different types of professions in our industry because there are a lot. There's the ones who only sell you the insurance, and there's also the one who really helps you out in your overall financial management, right? Now, talking into like personal financial management, I'd like to know who is your ideal client now that you're hit in the industry for such a long time. Do you have one?
Okay, actually, I don't classify them as per the industry or as per the net worth. Okay, I have the range of clients whom with startup, business startup or just beginning as a professional, to up to high net worth and ultra high net worth clients. Okay, but my main focus is on for those who are motivated to achieve to achieve things in life, willing to make changes and sacrifices for their betterment. That is one of the criteria. The other criteria is for those who wanted to put their finance in good perspective. Okay. And then also the other category I'm looking at it is for those who wanted to preserve their wealth, or I call it financially matured clients, and to distribute them, on that area. So these are some of the criteria that I'm looking at as for my ideal clients. Because end of the day is a habit, habit, and if your character and your habit is not there, it'll be very challenging to go into personal financial matters.
Yes, I definitely agree, and I'm glad that you categorize this as a criteria because it is true. Because there are some people, right, like who think like, okay, I'm going to seek advice from a financial planner, but then when you've provided them with the facts, um, or you receive a pushback from them because they think they don't need it, or they don't get into the habit that you want them to cultivate, and that's because they don't have the, as you mentioned, the financial maturity to change their financial situation, and that's a really good criteria to have. I think it was the when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yes, yes, and speaking to your background as well as being a teacher, so that makes a wealth of a difference for you as a financial planner because it's easier to deal with clients who are open to feedback and open to change, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so most of these, I'm guessing most of these clients are, they're the one who has that open-mindedness to become better at their finances. But I'd like to know, and I think we mentioned this a few emails ago that yes, that there's you're interested in sharing ideas regarding financial planning around business owners. Is there a difference between a client who is like the one like who's a regular employee with that of like a business owner?
Oh yeah, there are quite a number of differences actually. You see, as an employee, their the capability of earning an income is limited, and they generally will try to live within their means.
Yes.
Okay, so even though we see sometimes that as a financial planner, we see that they have potential for growth, but compared to business owners, very few people will take that and move on. Whereas on the other side, business owners are different breed of people. Okay, they love challenges. Then for them, challenges is part and parcel of their life. Okay, and then when we show them that, look here, see, most of the business owners, their challenge is they do not know, to be my surprise after I go through, these business owners. It is not just doing purely business. I'm also categorize these professionals who are having their own practice also as business owners.
Yes.
Okay, so what is, I mean, this thing is, some of them, they feel that, oh, they are fine with their finance, they are going where, very well, but actually they are not. Okay, when we
Yes.
put down their goals and all that, it's not sufficient. When the other category is that they're always afraid that how hard they earn, they're afraid that it may not be enough for them. Okay, so we have these two type of category of business owners. So they are, what do you call, as a business owner, we can actually, if we can show them that this is what they need, and they can go and lift their level. And you will be surprised that most of the business owners are willing to do. In fact, after writing their personal financial plan, their business have grown. Okay, because now they see there is a need to improve their business and
Yeah.
increase their income. Yep.
Right. Definitely, because I can definitely relate to this because I grew up in a business-minded family, right?
Ah.
But it's a traditional business where the one that you mentioned, where the business owners or my parents, in that matter, were actually very fearful because they didn't have a fallback. They didn't really think that there's always that fear lingering at the back of your mind that one day like something will happen and the business would go down, and like
Yes.
we would be left penniless, and it's
Yeah,
difficult
yeah.
to pivot, right? And so
Yeah, spot on.
yeah, and at that time, financial planning was like for like, as the Filipinos would say, or I think some of the other Asian countries as well, is only for the rich people. Like financial
Ah,
planning is only
yes,
for rich
yes,
people,
yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now it's starting to other people are starting to see that financial planning isn't only for the rich, but also
Yep.
for the middle class people as
Yes,
well, or for
yes.
those business owners who are still starting their business.
Yep.
And do you cater to those as well, to those who are just starting up with their own business? And
Yep. Yeah. I mean, for those who are starting up their own business, we call it startups. Okay, but the thing is, we can't do, generally we can't do a comprehensive planning. So what we will do is we will go on a modular where we will go into their, look into their risk, and then maybe slowly into investments for their retirement, or for their even business, what do you call, business expansion. Okay, so
Yep.
so for startups may not be a complaint. So what I'm trying to do is I'm cultivating the importance of the advice element of advice in their finance, so that they will make less mistakes.
Yes.
Or in order, because sometimes when we see some of the financial mistakes people have done, my clients have done, we can't rectify it or u-turn immediately. It will
Yes.
take a few years sometimes for us to make that, that mistakes, to correct the mistakes. So it is best to avoid or minimize those mistakes. When you have a financial licensed financial advisor with you, then the chances for this client to make big financial mistakes very less. And so that's the idea of it. In fact, I have a few clients who have started something like that. Now it's already 5 to 6 years. Now they already built, they are already into more stable business. And in fact, some of them, when they joined, they engaged me, they were single. Now they already have family and children. So now they
Yeah.
see, that progress, and they appreciate for that. They always see, I mean, sometimes I ask them, hey, you are a startup, why did you in the first place engage me? So they told me, Ms. Thanga, I know about my business, but I do not know much about finance, especially my personal things, what I need, what I supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. So you are an expert. So, and some of them even said, I don't want to do the mistake that my father did.
Yes.
Okay, so these are some of the reasons why, I would like to work. I call them as my CSR clients, meaning that I mean I actually build them, slowly along the run. After a few years, they will be matured for a comprehensive financial planning.
Yes, that's true, and I really appreciate that you have that mindset as well, because there's this thing, right? Like, especially with business owners, you can imagine the stress that they're having, and especially when they're still starting out. And it's good that they have that mindset, that they're willing to seek support from an expert, because then they'll have the headspace, or like they can put all of their attention to growing their business, while someone else is taking care of their finances and making sure that that expert can point out if they need to pivot, or if there's something that they need to change with the way that their money is working in the background.
Exactly, Gwen. You
Yeah.
got the point. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
exact point. Yes, yes.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I can see it, like I can still even see it now. Like, there are some people who start out with their business, or even the ones that already have that business for a long time, and then they encounter an issue, like for example last year with the pandemic,
Oh,
and
yes.
they've sold
Mm,
they've mortgaged their house and all that, and
yes.
that might not be the best way with regards to their finances. And
Yes.
speaking
Yes.
with the pandemic, like, how was the atmosphere of most of your clients, and
Okay.
um, last year, when like
Yep.
the economy was going
Yeah,
haywire?
yeah, yeah. Even now, it's still, still slow, and
Yeah.
things are a bit worrying. We do not know when the pandemic will be over.
Yes.
Okay. In fact, when the pandemic hit, very hard for the first time, I think most of us, even the clients, panic, but then
Yes.
most of them, my most of my clients, you'll be surprised that we did not change anything much, because when I plan for them, I always look at the worst case scenario.
Mm.
Okay, worst case scenario, and also I always have emergency fund for them.
Yes.
So that plays a very important role. Even though some of their businesses have their income have dropped up to 70%, but then they were able to sustain their lifestyle, because at this pandemic, or at this downturn, I think the most challenging part is not so much of the business, but the tension, or the the pressure comes with that. Okay,
Yes.
as a business owner, they already have that pressure, and on top of that, if they were to have this financial pressure, it is really going to hit them, and even their health wise. But because they have done the planning, and they have the emergency fund, so it came in handy that they could actually overcome that part of it, that issue, and they only concentrate on their business, how to improve and how to do things. So their family is at in good hands, where they can, the family's life, they can go on without much disturbances. Okay, so only one or two they have to liquidate some of their investments, but other than that, the rest actually are going on smoothly. And now, with a lot of improvement, I hope we will get back to the track again.
Yeah, that's really good, because um the last year was very trying for most people. I know that there were some people who actually like benefited from the from what happened with
Oh,
the
yes.
lockdown and stuff. Yeah, so
Yes, yes, yes.
and but And I mentioned that, or no, I was able to interview some financial advisors that their business actually grew last year during the pandemic because it made other people realize how important, financial planning is, and how important like insurance is, and being able to invest and all that stuff. But there were also other people who had difficulty in pivoting, and like and changing and adapting to all of the changes, which brings me to like, how was your business able to fare last year, and what were your struggles, and how were you able to pivot from the whole pandemic?
Yep. Okay. Talking about investments, yes, actually, there was a lot of opportunities last year.
Mm.
Okay, so some of my clients where we already had plans have took advantage of the situation. Generally, the business, I should say that it not affect much. Okay, but the only challenge I had was able to. I mean, I have to meet and discuss with the clients online.
Yes, yes.
That glitch, technology glitch was a bit challenging,
Yes, yes.
so because it's nothing like we sit and discuss face to face.
Yes,
So
definitely.
so that was I took it positively, and I learned, I picked up, how to do things. And in fact, last year I had a few financial plan 100% deal online.
Oh,
Okay,
yes, that's
I
good.
never met the client until the action plan and so on.
Mm,
So in fact, only this year they came to my office
mm.
and to meet me physically.
Ah, that's
So
wonderful.
so that was a good challenge. I think changes are permanent, so we have to adapt with the changes. Now we are getting back. Business, if you ask me, not really hit due to that pandemic. Of course,
That's
some
good.
challenges were there, but not so much.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to
Mm.
hear, because I know that there, from the other end of the spectrum, there are some financial advisors who saw that their business grew because they were able to contact more clients because it's just a Zoom call. They didn't have to have an appointment, et cetera, et cetera. And there's also
Yep.
the other end of the spectrum where it was difficult for them because they're the type of financial advisors who really like to um, physically see, and communicate in a face-to-face manner with their with their client or
Yeah.
prospective
Just one
clients.
point, Gwen. Just
Mm,
when you talk about it, I just remember
yeah.
business costs have dropped. Doing
Yes.
business, it has dropped because we don't have to travel. A
Yes.
lot of things, we save a lot of time, we save a lot of money. On that. So if you put that into our business, of course, we made money.
You know,
So
some of the your advisors, I'm sure, are no longer working in the office. They're at
yes,
home, and then
yeah,
so there's no cost in, or there's little
yep,
maintenance in the office, and then there's
yes, yes.
um, the time that you save in the commute. So, oh my gosh, I remember going to the office for like and
Oh,
waiting in a, you know in a 2 hour traffic, sitting
oh
down in a
yeah,
2 hour
yeah. I'm
traffic.
based in KL, Gwen, so the traffic jams here sometimes it takes hours.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, I for the even earlier, I most of my appointments are in my office where I don't
Mm,
only 30% I travel, 70%
mm.
I'm based in the office. So
Yeah, that's
it
good.
was good. Yep.
Yeah, so, but yes, that's one of the good sides as well. And I think another one is that people are more open now to Zoom meetings,
Oh
because
yes.
before it was not heard of. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Because
Yes,
they're scared too. So
yes.
they don't want
Mm.
to move out. So you're right.
Yeah, because that is true. Even for myself, I wasn't very good at Zoom. I had
Mm.
to learn as well. So, and all of the technology that comes to it, and even setting up, your office and all that stuff. But
Oh
I'm glad
yes.
that, and I guess it goes to show that we as humans in general are very good at adapting. And
Yep.
and now, oh, this is an interesting question. So now that we're in the new normal, and there's little face to face setup that is happening, how are you able to acquire clients? And do you actively seek clients, or are they more on referral basis now?
Okay, mine even earlier, it's more of a referral basis, because this is more of a niche service in the sense that when I'm doing mostly comprehensive financial plan, you see, and when the clients they go through the process till the end, they always feel that someone in their family or friends, they need to engage me,
Yes.
because they saw the benefits. It is not like products. When selling products is totally different, because I used to sell, so
Yes.
nothing wrong with that. But
Mhm.
then these services, they have to go through, they have to feel it. When they feel it, they know the benefit of it. And then of course we encourage them to get more, introduce more of their people, I mean friends and family members. They do that. So for me, you'll be surprised, sometimes they will do all the talking.
Ah,
when
good.
they when they refer to me, when the client call me or contact me, they are already ready to do the comprehensive plan.
Mm.
Okay, so I go on that basis, because I do as much as possible to the existing clients, so that they can rely their experience to other people.
Yeah, that's really wonderful, because it so you've made your clients become your number one fans, and
Yes.
I think that's the best way to go ahead and market yourself, right? Because then you don't have to spend money on like marketing strategies, but
Yeah.
your it's because of its word of mouth, you already
Mm,
have that trust factor
mm,
for new prospective clients. Now,
yes.
I'm curious because your clients are your raving fans. So what do they usually go through? Like what does your comprehensive financial planning look like that makes your
Uh,
clients really want to refer more people to you?
Uh, Okay, it's a great question. Actually, the comprehensive planning is covers the whole holistic approach. It's an holistic approach
Mhm.
where we start with their goals, go into their cash flow, go into their asset and liabilities, go into their investment, what you call analysis, go into their risk management, insurance, and then go into their retirement, finally go into their estate planning, the distribution.
Mhm.
So what happened is that mostly clients are not clear of what they want and what they have and where they want to go.
Mhm.
So these are the three areas which they always have confusion, and they have a lot of questions to ask, but they do not know whom to refer, because this is also involves their personal information. And I'm sure it is also similar in Philippines. They don't really open up to everybody.
Yes, yes,
So
definitely. It's a
they
taboo.
want to, yes, they need someone who can be trusted. Okay, so I have to put myself as the independent person, and I'm put myself in their shoes, and I'll always represent them. So
Mm,
when they see this process, okay, all these, they will feel that, oh, yeah, I never thought of this, I never thought of that, I thought I had this but I didn't, oh, I thought I didn't have that but actually I'm okay. So all these will be addressed. So towards the end, when I complete the plan, they will walk out with peace of mind, by knowing what they have, where they want to go, and
mm.
what they are supposed to do.
Yeah, so bridging the
So
gap between what they
yes,
have right now and what they
yes,
want for the future.
yes.
Yeah,
So that makes
wonderful.
them
Mm,
confident,
mm,
to look at their look forward their financial life with the more clarity, and confidence.
mm.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, because you know what? I think there's a lot of people, and I know you've seen these all of these types of people. Like they usually have like a grand plan of what they want to do in the future, but they
Yes.
actually don't have like a solid, concrete, smart goal setting and like the
Exactly.
steps that they need to do in order to reach that. And by the time
Yes.
they've gone through or they're 55 or 65, they realize that they didn't really get what they initially wanted, not
Yep.
because they didn't have the resources, but sometimes maybe just because of poor planning, because there were a lot of things that they overlooked. And that's primarily the reason why financial planners exist,
Yes.
because you are their coach, right? Because
Yep.
you know, it's not easy to save. It's
Oh
not,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and particularly saving is not easy to save.
Yeah.
And so you need someone that's very that you can hold their accountability, to help you through that initial struggle. Because if you're a good financial planner, then you will be able to cultivate that sense of habit for your
Mhm.
client to continually
Sure.
save, check
Yes.
back. And that brings me to another question, like with your clients, do you have like an ongoing, like lifetime relationship with them, or could they just like hire you for like a certain number of months or a certain number of years?
Okay, my practice is go on lifetime. Okay,
Oh.
I always tell them that I will be the happiest person when I can release you from my what do you call? I like, for example, I can say that, oh, from now on you are independent. Everything
Mm.
is in order. You just have to follow. You know.
Yeah.
So I will love to have that until then.
Mm.
Okay, so it is a lifelong relationship.
Yes. And
Because in financial planning, if you were to engage for a few months or 1 year, 2 years, I don't think it is. No, we can't see. They cannot get the optimum benefit of it.
yes.
So I very rarely I have that kind of relationship.
Yes, and you
Yeah.
know, the life cycle of a person changes. Like their stages in life change, as you mentioned earlier. Like you have clients who started out being single with you, and then
Oh
they
yes.
a few years later they have their they've started their family, and it's an ongoing like
Yeah.
change in their
Yes.
in how they would manage their finances, which is actually good.
I
And
yeah. I can.
yes,
Shall I interrupt? Okay. Just
yeah.
one. Another example is that I used to help planning for the parents.
Mm.
Now I'm doing for their children.
Yeah, that's good.
See, so the children also married and with their children, that means my client's grandchildren are there. So
Mm.
it is ongoing. See, that client already, I should say that we have done everything for him, is
Mm-hmm.
now is already retired
Mm.
and is now enjoying his life.
Mm.
Now the children have taken over his business, so now I'm continue the service now more on their personal planning for the children.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. That
so
goes to show that you've cemented yourself in the industry, because you've spanned like the next generation for your client, which is really good, because they already trust you that that you
yes,
can offer excellent service, because their parents were like the result of your financial planning
yeah,
strategy.
yeah.
And moving into that, so what are some of the complexities that you have to deal with when providing advice to like your business owners, that an advisor wouldn't typically handle with individuals or couples?
Business owners, okay, they are, as I told you, they are different breed of people.
Mm,
Okay,
yes.
so they are very busy. They in their mind a lot of things will be running. okay, mostly about their business rather than family. Let me tell you. Okay,
Yes.
so what happened is sometimes they will easily forget about our earlier discussions, earlier decisions.
Ah, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so that is very quite frequent. So we have means and way to overcome that. That's not an issue. And then they have too many things in their mind. So sometimes when we discuss, we have to discuss and then bring the scope into. When we leave them, they will go everywhere. So we have to like, okay, can we concentrate on these goals first or these areas first?
Ah, yes.
Then we will address the others.
Yeah.
Okay, if not, there won't be any end to it. Okay, and for those who are more complicated clients, more established clients, there will be other challenges like they have multiple businesses, multiple assets, investments, insurance, and not just one country, in multiple countries. I
Oh.
call them cross border.
Mm.
Okay, so but I have to take all the assets and I have to, the investments and different jurisdiction, so these are some of the complications or challenges when we deal with business owners or high net worth individuals for that matter.
Yeah, that's now that I think about it, that's so true because there are also different like policies, especially for like your cross-border clients as well, that you have to take consideration. And again, it goes back
Right.
to like um, they can possibly think of those things themselves because that's a lot of things to think about,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's why you mentioned that sometimes they usually forget about your like your initial plans with them.
Yes,
and
yes.
and so I guess my question now is, because we're almost at our time limit, but I really just
Mm.
wanted to and I don't want to take up most of your time, but I guess my question now would be like, how would a financial advisor move into or have that confidence to be able to provide that kind of like high level advice for business owners, like do you think it needs to come with practice, or can like a budding financial advisor uh, niche directly to business owners as their clients?
Okay, a buddy system is a fast track. Okay, where
Mm.
you can pick up things faster. So like we have our junior planners, so they when we do what do you call meet clients or even discuss about clients,
Mm-mm.
so they will check with me, once they meet the client, then they will check with me, Miss Tanga, this is the situation, what shall I do, how to go about. So there is someone senior who can guide them and help them. By doing that, they can learn faster.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Yes. The second, what you call method is that you have to experience it on your own.
Mm.
Okay. Which I had, my mentor. At the same time, most of the business owners clients, which I've experienced, I throw myself into that community,
Mm.
without knowing anybody sometimes. you
Yes.
know so because the purpose is I want to understand their mindset, I want to understand their feelings, I want to know what is actually they wanted to achieve, and then is there anything, any of our services, my services is suitable for them.
Mm.
Then from there I take on.
Mm.
So that's the if you ask me.
Ah, wonderful. Thank you so much for all those great wisdom that you've imparted with us today, Thanga. And thank you so much for coming into the show. I'm sure that the listeners of this podcast will have learned a lot and would hopefully take into action all of the things that they've learned from you today. But before we formally end the show, if financial advisors, especially from Malaysia, want to get to know you more, or if there are people who want to reach out to check out your advice and what you're offering, where can they reach you or get to
Okay,
know
there
you more?
are, yeah, I'm in LinkedIn. I'm also, you can Google my name, VP Thanga. So it will bring to, my company. And also, you want me to give any email?
Ah, yes, definitely. I can go ahead and put that in
Okay.
the podcast
Yeah,
description.
Thanga at bpplanning dot com dot my,
All
all
right.
small cap. So that is one of the areas. Or they can even contact me via my mobile, drop me a message. So I'm willing to help the planners and also would be planners for
Yes.
if they want to get into this business, and also those who are public clients who like to see. You see, for me is I in the first meeting I don't charge any fees,
Ah,
because because I have to understand the client and we have to decide whether we can work together.
yes, that's very
So because
important.
I don't dispense any advice in the first meeting,
Yes,
so we
so
have
does
a
it get
method
to know
to,
you?
yes, we have a very wonderful method to engage with the client. So, so how to engage with the client. So in fact, I thank, Kevin and also yourself, Gwen,
Yes,
for the
yes,
time and the opportunity given to me. And I really appreciate, and we want this business to flourish, not
yes,
just, in Malaysia, but in the region.
yes,
So,
definitely.
so, so I really appreciate your effort, all of you.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much. God bless.
All right, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Tanga.
Yeah,
Have a good
yeah.
one. Bye bye.
Same to you. Bye, bye.